Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Today we are going to dive into a topic that's both simple and profound at the same time. The most basic form of mind control is repetition, okay? When you think about repetition, okay, repetitious movement, right? Like you get carpal tunnel from repetitious movement, right? So think of like that, okay? It's not hypnosis, not subliminal messaging, but the steady, relentless drip of repeated ideas that shapes how we think, okay? The way we act, even the way we vote. From media to education to politics, repetition is the invisible hand guiding our minds. And it's time we recognize its power. Before I go any further, the reason why I'm doing the kind of videos that I'm doing is because I've been seeing in the comments that you guys say that you want more prepping videos. Well, I'm giving you reasons to prep. Okay? I want you to open your minds. I want you to expand your ideas. Okay? I want you to start thinking outside the box because I'm giving you reasons why you should be prepping. Okay? I shouldn't have to show you how to prep. Okay? Because we've been doing this for a very long time, but I'm giving you reasons why. Okay? And this is one of the reasons why. All right, so I'm going to start with the basics, okay? Repetition works because our brains are wired to prioritize familiarity. Psychologists call it mere exposure effect. The more we hear something, the more we trust it. Think of your favorite song, okay? Think of your favorite song, whatever your favorite song is. Think of, okay, we're Gen X, so we grew up in the 80s, okay? Think of a song from the 80s, okay? And you've heard it how many times, right? How many times have you heard it when we were growing up? Now it's on the radio. Now it's on the oldies station. Now they're playing it in the supermarkets, right? And when it comes on, you're like, that's my jam, right? And you know every single word, right? And you don't even have to guess. You just know, and you just know, and you just know, and you start singing it, and you know it, and you know it, and you know it. Okay, so the more you hear something, the more we trust it, right? Even if it's not true, right? Because who says that song lyrics are true? But that's not what I'm trying to prove here. But it's the more you hear it, okay? The more you hear it, think about it, okay? Why? Now let's think about, okay, watching TV, okay? Why do advertisers play the same commercial over and over and over again? Because repetition breeds comfort, right? And comfort breeds acceptance. Ladies, how many times have you heard that Pond's facial cream brings out our beauty, where in fact you know that okay, it's shit, okay? When you know that all you really need is the stuff from the dollar store, the vitamin E oil. It's all I've used on my skin, and I still literally to this day get carded. If it wasn't for the glitter strands, all right, seriously. So this isn't new, okay? Propagandists have known it for centuries, okay? Joseph Goebbels, I don't know if you ever heard of him. His last name is Goebbels. He's a Nazi propaganda minister. Famously said this: repeat a lie often enough and it becomes the truth, right? That is not just a historical footnote. It's a playbook that is still in use today. Police officers, they use that tactic in interrogation rooms. Whether it's a political slogan, a news headline, a cultural narrative, repetition doesn't just inform, it conditions the way that you think over, over, over again. Consider how this plays out today. 24-hour news cycle. It doesn't just report, it repeats over and over. And it's like, shut up, right? A single story framed the same way gets looped across all the networks, social media, right? Until it feels like it's gospel. The left-leaning media, mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, right, might hammer the same phrase, systematic racism, climate change, until those terms become unassailable truths in the public mind. But on the flip side, on, say, like right-leaning, whatever you want to call those outlets, okay, might drill border crisis, woke ideology into their audience. Both sides know, say it enough, people stop questioning you. But it's not just the media. Repetition is everywhere. By now you probably have carpal tunnel of the brain. Think about our education system from grade school all the way up to college. Certain ideas are repeated from year after year after year, specific historical narratives, social values, scientific consensus. I'm not saying that education shouldn't be taught, with foundational ideas, but when the same perspectives are drilled into young minds without room for debate, it's less education and more indoctrination. Change my mind. I'll wait. Take the emphasis on certain historical events. Schools might repeat narratives about America's founding as flawed or oppressive, sidelining the principles of individual liberty or the Constitution's genius. Over time, students don't just learn history, they internalize a worldview. And that's the point. Repetition doesn't just teach, it programs. Now let's talk about culture. Hollywood, pop culture, the repetitious machines. Movies, shows, music push the same themes. Think of the constant portrayal of traditional values as outdated or the glorification of certain lifestyles. Remember, lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? You watch enough Netflix, you might start thinking that their version of morality is the only one that actually matters. It's not an accident, it's strategy. And don't get me started on social media. That's why I stay off the shit. Okay, algorithms or platforms like Facebook and Instagram, and they amplify what is trending, repeating the loudest voices until they dominate your feed. If you're not careful, you're not choosing your beliefs, you're being fed them. Okay? Now, here is where repetition is more weaponized, if you want to say that, like than politics. Okay? Both sides do it. It's not like it's going to be a surprise to you, but let's call a spade a spade. Okay? The progressive left has mastered this game. Take the term equity. A decade ago, it was barely a buzzword. Now, after years of repetition in schools, work, government, it's treated as an unquestionable moral good, even when it means unequal treatment under the law. Look at the phrase, common sense gun control. Sounds reasonable, right? That's because you've heard it millions of times. But dig into the details. Red flag laws, magazine bans, confiscation policies, common sense. Starts looking like a gateway to eroding Second Amendment rights. Repetition makes the radical seem reasonable. The right isn't innocent either. Phrases like America First, drain the swamp, get repeated to rally the base. It's like a pep rally. Yeah. But sometimes glossing over the complex policy debates. But the difference is scale. The left-leaning establishment, media, academia, tech, has a louder megaphone and a tighter grip on the cultural narrative. When you control the institution, right, repetition becomes a sledgehammer. So, how do you fight back on something like this? Well, a subtle form of mind control. I mean, that's, what this is. It's, first you have to recognize it. Because when you hear something repeated ad nauseum, whether it's news headline, political slogan, cultural cliche, you pause, you ask, why am I hearing this so often? Who benefits from it? Second, diversify your information. Don't just watch one news channel, please. Or scroll on social media mindlessly. Seek out your primary sources, raw data, voices that challenge the narrative. Platforms like, I don't know, whatever social media that you want to go on, okay? It could be a goldmine for unfiltered opinions. But you've got to sift through the noise yourself. Third, think critically. Repetition relies on laziness. All right? Train yourself to question assumptions, even the ones that everyone else takes for granted. If a phrase like follow the science gets thrown at you, be like, well, which science? Whose science? Right? Finally, speak up. Repetition thrives on silence. If you see a narrative being pushed that doesn't add up, call it out. Share your thoughts, whether it's at the dinner table or in the comment section. Over and over and over until they feel like truth. But, you have, just don't shut up. Your voice can disrupt an echo chamber. Remember that. In a world where repetition shapes minds, freedom starts with awareness. The most basic form of mind control is not a conspiracy. It's the relentless drumbeat of the same ideas. Okay? We're not robots. We can question. We can resist. We can choose what we let into our heads. So the next time you hear a phrase repeated for the 100th time, stop and think. Is this informing me or is this controlling me? The answer might surprise you. Stay sharp. Stay skeptical. Stay free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, okay?